Hello, everyone. This is kind of my first video, doing this. Okay, so there's somebody named James Knowles, and he's currently missing. This is all going to happen, this, whole scene that's I'm about to explain. It's playing out in South Carolina, in Marlboro County. The community that it happened in, it's a community called Hairtown. It is a Bennettsville address, but it's kind of in between the city Wallace and the city Bennettsville. It's in the country. There's nothing but woods surrounding. So it's just a country town with not a lot of population. You don't really have many neighbors. Okay, so James Knowles was dating my sister. Okay, they were dating. I believe they dated for, I want to say, about 8 or 9 months. In 2020. I'm not sure if they started dating in 2019 or I'm not sure. I haven't added the totals up or whatever. Okay, James Knowles. He regularly would contact his children. He had 2 children with his wife, Mary, which they were not together. They are not together anymore. At the time this took place, they were not together. Him and my sister were dealing with a lot of issues as far as living situations, and they were, there was drugs involved. They were just going down the wrong path, both of them. And, and I can say for myself, I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for 6 years. Along with drugs, other things happen and a whole lot of things. You'll do what you can to get drugs. So, on September the 18th of 2020, James sold Mary's, shed and some other items to a guy named Brian. Okay, so this guy named Brian, he paid him $250 for the items, or towards the items. These items were on Mary's property. That's the wife of James. And so he gave him the money, and I'm assuming he said, I'm going to come back later with a trailer and I'm going to pick these items up. Okay, so he gives the money to James, and James spent the money. So Brian goes with a friend and a trailer to pick this barn up. Nobody asked Mary about it. Mary didn't know about it. She happened to come home from work and see tire tracks. So she went around back. She was thinking it was James. Because at one point she allowed Andrew and him to stay in her camper, or their camper, in her backyard, because they had nowhere to live. And it only lasted like a week. Because it just wasn't working out. So she had told them they could keep the camper, but they couldn't stay there. So that's when they moved to Hairtown. So, she comes out and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking my barn, my storage barn, and who are you? She didn't know what in the world was going on. He said, I already paid for this. I bought this from James, and she's like, well, I don't care. You're not taking it. It's mine. You cannot take my property. You know, she didn't even know they were there, that they were coming. She just happened to come home from work and find people in her yard. So in all of this, somehow the trailer, I don't know if it got stuck or something happened, but they were not even able to get the trailer. They were going to have to leave it. So they left the trailer and they said they would come back at another time to pick it up. So Brian is upset. He wants his money back because rightfully so, if I paid someone something and I couldn't get it, I would be upset. I agree with that. Okay, so they come back to get it, and he hitches the barn up and doesn't want to put it down in its proper place, and just had an attitude about it. So Mary leaves the same day that they had tried to get it the first time, and she goes to James and she asks him, why are you sending these people to my house? Why are you selling this storage barn? And when she got there, the camper door, it was wide open, the lights were on, the house was trash, it was a mess, and my sister's belongings were packed up. And where he was staying in this camper in Hairtown, he only had 2 neighbors. An older couple living in I believe it's a trailer. And then another guy that was staying behind him in a camper. And this is down a dirt path off the main road. And from what the neighbors said, they had not seen him. That he knew that my sister and him had broken up because he found something in her phone and got upset about it. He did not elaborate on what it was or anything, but he knew they were broken up. So when she comes back to get her items the following day or whenever it was, she was with Brian, the guy that the argument, was about those stuff. And then that's where it starts to look suspicious about everyone. Brian, and my sister, they're together, and James, he's missing. That was the last day anyone physically saw James. There's another person that was seen with some of James' items after he was missing. He was trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace. And so he got arrested, and he had a child support warrant. My sister got arrested. She had a child support warrant. So they're both currently locked up. The police have searched the property twice. They did not bring dogs. I've asked, can we borrow some deputies, because I'm trying to get a search party set up in the near future with Mary to do this. And he said that their search dogs only track a scent up to 72 hours. So that's impossible. He's been missing since September. So we are still in the works of trying to do something and get a search team together. They've also searched Brian's property. I'm not sure if they searched his vehicle. I have no idea. There is a detective on his case. His name's Andrew Cook with the Bennettsville Sheriff's Department. And a lot of the people that claim to be James' friend have been passing around his tattoo gun, giving each other tattoos. And, I'm assuming that this third person that, got arrested for stealing his items, I'm assuming that he's probably the one that got it and then sold it to them or gave it to them. But what makes me so upset is because not one of these people that claim to be his friend have asked where he's at, shared his missing persons photo, or anything. Mary has questioned some of them and asked how they heard from him, and then, they'll say, oh my God, he's missing, but that's it. You claim to be such great friends, you post pictures on Facebook with him, but you can't share without one missing persons photo. So, and then it leaves me feeling some type of way because, my sister's involved. But I'm telling you, like I told her, if she has something to do with this, I am not helping her at all. I'm not going to be there for her because this is wrong. I've only met James a handful of times, and my son has met him before as well. He spent the night at my house with my sister. I don't care what he was doing in his lifetime. I don't care if he had been doing drugs. I don't care. He deserves to be found. I really believe in my heart something bad happened to him. I do. And it's going to come out whether we find him when we get our search party going or not. It's going to come out because everything comes to light. So for those of you out there that are, guilty of something and you haven't came forward, shame on you. Shame on you. His children don't know where their daddy is. He might have been into bad things, but he always made sure to contact his children. And everyone does something at some point in their lives bad, whether it's drugs, whether it's addicted to sex, addicted to food, you have a weight issue, addicted to all of these different things. We all sin. So, I don't care. He's a missing person. He is a living, breathing person. So if somebody did something bad to him and they're related to me, I hope that you are caught. And I know you will be.